If you want to legally start your business, you've come to the right video today. We're going to walk you through what you need to know in 2021 and 22 to start your business the right way. That is legally, so that you're not ending up in any kind of hot water or jail. You've probably been watching a lot of videos about creating your ideal client avatar and finding those dream clients that are going to fill up your roster and get you paid. That is an awesome start, and it's one of my favorite ways for businesses to get kicked off. Unlike a lot of attorneys, yes, I am an attorney, I am going to tell you to go ahead and get out there and make that money, because if you aren't making money, if you don't have those clients or those customers, you do not have a business yet. So it doesn't matter if you have an LLC or branding or a website, because the only way to have a business is to start making money that people are exchanging for your products or services. But if you're anything like me, you also want to make sure that you're dotting all your I's and crossing all your T's. And that is why we're going to walk through the 9 things that you have to do in order to make sure your business is operating legally. One of the first steps is to get your tax ID number. This is also called your employer identification number. And this comes directly from the IRS. Anybody who is operating in the United States or who has a United States business bank account or PayPal or Stripe account is going to need one of these things, even if you're not located in the US. The great news about this is that it's totally free. You're going to use your EIN to get all your bank accounts, credit cards, any kind of financial information set up. Think of it like a social security number for your business. The second thing to look out for is any kind of documents you need to fill out for your state in order to tell them that you have started a business. Typically, these are things like a limited liability company or corporation, also known as an LLC. And in order to find how to do this, you'll just simply Google your state secretary website. So if I lived in Texas, I would just Google Texas Secretary of State LLC formation. And if you end up in something that looks really boring and old, like old school internet, you're probably in the right spot. It's really easy in most states to fill this out because states want your money. They want to have a record of you doing business, and they want your money for your filing fees to start that business. So they make it really easy. I don't think anyone needs to be using LegalZoom for this. They charge some awful amount of money for it, like a couple $100. LegalZoom is just totally overkill, and you can do this on your own. In my opinion, LegalZoom is just preying on the fact that a lot of people are nervous when it comes to the legal things about their business. Here at this channel, I'm trying to do the opposite and empower you to feel really good about how you can run your business and to feel really great about the legal aspects of doing so. Now that you have an EIN and an LLC, or even just an EIN, you don't even need an LLC, but it does make it easier because you can just start with the right name from the beginning. You can open a business checking account. So open up those business bank accounts to make it easier for yourself to keep your business and your personal expenses separate. This is going to be a really big consideration down the road when you need to figure out how to pay taxes, and also if you're saving up for anything big like a mortgage or paying off student debt or building your credit score. It's going to be important to keep all of those expenses and all that income from you personally versus your business separate. The fourth thing you could do at this stage is check out any kind of licenses, local licenses that you would need for your business. For example, if you live in a bigger town like Denver, or I live right outside in Aurora, it's really important for me to look and see what kind of taxes I need to be charging according to the town that I live in, and whether it makes a difference that my office and my studio is in Denver and where I end up working most days, which is here in my house, is in Aurora. So just check those local laws out. Everyone's gonna want their piece of the pie, so don't be alarmed when you have to sign up as a licensed business in maybe more than one spot if you're not just operating out of one office or one home. The fifth thing is to lock down any kind of business plans that you might have been dreaming about. And if you're wondering how to get started in planning for the growth and development of your business, we have some great resources on our blog, which we'll link to below. Most importantly, you just want to start projecting any kind of revenue so that you can kind of budget out how much you expect to pay in taxes after your first profitable year. And you'll also want to know how much you could expect to take home, whether your business is more of a side hustle for now, or if it is a side hustle and you want to take it full time, how you could possibly do that, what kind of numbers you need to hit. Math shouldn't be scary when it comes to running a business. There's no complicated calculus or crazy algorithms or anything like that that you need to take into account account. It's kind of like dieting. It's really simple, but it's not always easy. So you just have to figure out how much money your business is going to bring in, which I know at the beginning is difficult because it fluctuates, but if you start to make these plans, it's really cool because you'll start to see whether you're falling above or below what you've planned, and then you can adjust the plan accordingly, and you'll start to be a lot more consistent with those months. So the people that I've worked with that do a good job at making these plans, even if they completely trash them and break them down, they still end up hitting whatever their monthly revenue goal is to support their life so that they can quit their 9-to-5 job or just take their business to newer and bigger, better heights. And if that's the case, then it's a really good idea just to consider that plan and to make sure that you're tracking it, maybe not every day, but at least every month you're going in and seeing where you are according to where you want to be and whether you're exceeding that or falling a little bit behind to get yourself motivated perhaps to make even more money next month. I don't even remember what step we're on, but the next step would be looking at what kind of products and programs and services and packages that you have available and asking yourself whether you want to consider any of those for trademark protection. So a trademark is different than your business name. We have some great videos about the differences there, so we'll link to those below. Essentially, any business can have as many trademarks as they want. There's no legal limit to how many names you can come up with that you can consider to be yours. And if you want to, again, learn more about trademarks, we have lots and lots of resources on those, so I'll be sure to link them. But we're going to keep going with all the steps that you want to consider as you're getting your business legally started. The next step is to add some kind of copyright notice to your website. While this isn't legally required anymore, it does help you in the event that someone rips you off or copies and pastes your blog post as their own. There are certain things that are available to you as a copyright holder who has disclosed that through that cute little circle C sign at the bottom of your website that isn't available to someone who has forgotten that step. And the year doesn't really matter. A lot of people just do that to make sure people understand, it hasn't been 5 years since someone last updated their website. That's just something nice that you can go in and change at the beginning of each year. You can put it on your calendar. It's a really easy update. But just having that little circle C at the bottom of your website or your blog can really help you in the long run if you just want to make sure that you're doing everything correctly right from the get-go. One of the last steps is to also make sure down there on that footer next to that copyright notice that you have some sort of privacy policy. If you are online in this day and age, your website, whether you like it or not, is collecting information on the people who visit it. Hopefully you're doing something interesting with that information and turning that into more revenue and more cash for your business by looking at how people are finding you, how things are going, and just doing more of what's working based on what people are interacting with on your site, or giving them email opt-ins and freebies and things like that to just further engage with you and your brand. And if you are doing that, then you're definitely going to want that privacy policy. It's something you just need to take care of once, maybe update it once or twice a year, and just make sure that you're keeping it up to date if there is any big statutory or legal changes. And of course, if you're not sure when or if there's been an update, because there's no like privacy policy push update like an Apple phone update or something, then you'll want to buy from a reliable source like my template shop called the Contract Shop, because we will actually push those updates out to you so that you are always up to date with your privacy policy. And that way it's always in compliance with those international laws, no matter where you're located. It's really cool. The last thing, and actually this probably should have been one of the first things I mentioned because it's so important, but you always want to make sure that you have contracts in place. If you couldn't tell, I'm really passionate about contracts from the name of my shop, the Contract Shop, and we have plenty of contracts for you to start working with those clients. It's funny because I'm actually going through and I'm getting married next year, so we're planning a wedding, and the funny thing about it is I have signed so many of my own contracts that people have purchased for me throughout the years, and now we're hiring those people as our vendors for our wedding. So it's been a really cool experience to see them out there and just to hear their stories of how much our template has saved them when it came to the bridezilla or the crazy client or the client that didn't want to pay or the client that just ghosted on them. So we have solutions built into our templates for all of those scenarios and more. And so that's why you'll definitely want to go check out my shop, the Contract Shop. Just have a lot of fun browsing. We've made it a really interesting, engaging experience. So if you like online shopping, you're going to love the Contract Shop. I hope you've enjoyed these tips. And if you have any further questions, be sure to drop them in the comments below. We try to get back to every single comment, and we also pull them for future videos. videos. So we're definitely looking out for what you have to say, whether you like our content and what you have any questions about. Plus, we publish weekly. So next week, I'm going to talk to you about why LegalZoom might not be the best idea for you in your business. I'll see you then.